Welcome to video number 4. I'm so excited to share that my last video received between Facebook and YouTube. And that's just awesome. I'm so thankful for everybody who watched, who shared, who liked, who commented on my last video. We did have some lively comments on the last video, and one young man from the faith group of atheists, he questioned, why do I target atheists with my video? And that question I'm going to answer because I'm not targeting anyone with my video. I don't have any kind of faith groups, whether you're a believer, whether you're a non-believer. I'm not targeting anyone special. If you're between the ages of 18 and over 65, odds are you have a chance of seeing my video, whether you're a believer, whether you're a non-believer, whatever. I don't have anyone specifically targeted in who can see my video. So I have no control over whose faces my video is landing in front of. That will be, of course, in God's control. In the beginning of my last video, I said that the devil was real and there really is a spiritual realm out there. And I guess that really sparked off some lively comments, mainly from the atheist faith group. And that's fine. I welcome any and all comments out there as long as they stay respectful, because I have been and remained respectful in my comments and my replies and in my videos to everyone. So I'm going to give a little recap and a review from my last videos, because I do know that there are people who are not seeing all the videos from the beginning. They're only seeing the most recent video. So I'm going to do a recap to catch everybody up. So I'm currently writing a book, and I've gone through quite a few delays as the devil has prolonged this process. But as I have said, God is all in this, and God knows exactly what is going on. And I know that everything is happening in God's perfect timing. So when the book is ready for production will be when God says that the book is ready for production. And I'm content with that, and I'm at peace, and I'm just plugging along and trying to do what I can for the glory of God and sharing this story. To give you a little recap of what my book is about, I spent some time in the psychic world. I share parts of my life leading up to that time, and also the time I spent in the psychic world and coming out of it. And there was a pretty big event that happened that brought me out of the psychic realm. And I share that, and then what my life was like after. I received a lot of encouragement to write a book about the story of God's redemption in my life. So I wrote the book and then started the editing process. I shared in my last video how I had a personal friend editing the book, and because she suddenly started receiving many more hours at work, we decided to part ways because her time was so limited and she did not have more than 2 hours a week to devote to the editing of the book. Now you might think, oh well, so what? She started getting a couple of more hours. No, this was highly unusual. Her schedule had been set for quite a long time, and then all of a sudden, as soon as she agreed to edit the book, she received so many hours at work, she hardly had any more time to devote to editing the book. But I did take away some knowledge from what she was able to share with me in the short period of time that she did devote to my book. And for that, I'm very grateful, and I know God had a purpose with using her. So after we decided to part ways, I was involved in our women's ministry retreat, and I was asked to share my testimony at the retreat. So I had a lot of time spent helping to organize that and preparing for my testimony. So that took me through the end of the year of 2019. If you remember, in one of my last videos, one of my women at church who was involved in doing mission work with her husband, she knew my story, and when she heard that I was going to write the book, she had told me that I was going directly against Satan and his world, and that I should be prepared for that and to pray for this process, because he's not going to want this book to come out. So I have been prepared for anything that has been coming along the way, and praying through it and knowing that God is all in it and aware of everything that's going on. So in 2020, I met her husband, and he did a lot of and continued to do mission work, and him and his wife saw many things going on within the indigenous people and their spiritual practices that they turn to in their villages. So when her husband heard of my book, and he read parts of the book, he wanted to take some of that story and translate it into a language for the indigenous people, so he could take it with him on his missions to share with them, to show them what turning to that realm, the devil's realm, can do and how evil it is. So with hooking up with Larry, I learned he taught some classes online. So one of the classes he was teaching was this ancient church history class. So I decided to take that class with him online. That took about 6 to 8 weeks to get through that class. And as I got to know Larry, I shared with him the problem I was having with finding someone to edit the book. And he mentioned someone that he knew locally in our church that did some editing, another person. So I met with her and sent the book to her, and she told me that she was interested in helping me out, but her schedule was very busy. She did a lot of volunteer work, just helping with those who are in need. So she was pretty busy, but she was going to carve out some time to help me edit my book. So that was about in June 2020. As soon as she agrees to edit the book, her house gets hit by lightning. Surprise! It was a surprise, but fully expected. I didn't expect anything different. The lightning knocked out her internet, telephone, things like that. So that caused a delay in having to get all that repaired and fixed. So throughout the summer, we worked together. She didn't have a lot of time, so we weren't able to meet as much as I would have liked. But I was willing to work with her on her time schedule if this is who God had chosen to edit my book. She showed me how busy her schedule was and where the days that she was going to try to fit into work on my book. And then at the end of the August, I get this email out of the blue, and she tells me that some good things have come up in her family, and she just will absolutely have zero amount of time to devote to the book, and so she can no longer work on the book. Now I have to tell you that I was taken aback. I was completely unprepared for that. I'm thinking, oh yay, she's the one who's going to take the book to the completion for publication. And God's like, no, she's not the one, but she did provide some insight and wisdom. So I did receive some good advice from her and direction, but it just turned out that she was not going to be the one to take it to the end where it would be ready for publication. So with that, I'm going to pause on my story right there, and I'm ready to share with you what the title of my book is going to be. I have prayed about it, and I'm completely 100% confident that this is the title of my book. And the title of my book is going to be The Mirror is significant to my story, and also it has some other meanings hidden in there with it as well. So I just think it's the absolute perfect title for my book, and I can't wait to share it with you all. I'm receiving many comments and of people who are excited and look forward to my book coming out for publication, and I'm just humbled, and my heart is just bursting with joy. And I cannot wait for this book to finally come to completion and get ready for publication. If you'd like to be a member of my launch team, you will receive a free copy of the book along with your promise promise to help promote the book by giving reviews on social media and on websites and just sharing it with your friends and getting the word out there about my book. I'm excited to have you on my team, and if you'd like to be on my team, just send me a message with your name, address, and your email address will be the most important so I can contact you as time gets closer as to what we're going to do and as the time comes closer for the launch of the book. As always, I thank you for your prayers and continued prayers so we can get this book published and out there for God's chosen people to read. I thank you again for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next week. Have a wonderfully blessed day.